About 5 years ago, I hiked this stretch of the Pennine Way, my hike across Great Britain. It was miserable. It was damp, it was muddy, it was misty, it was raining all the time. I did not enjoy it. So now I've come back today, on a bright sunny day, to do this section. It's the section from Diggley to Hebden Bridge. And it's not the most exciting section of the Pennine Way, it must be said. But here we are. It's not a bad start though, to be fair. Not how many other people I'll see en route. This is what the path was like for most of the trip last time I did this. Fortunately, it's not like that this time. This is the first of at least 3 trig points on this particular section of the route. And how high we are should say on the trig point. Yeah, that's what I looked. I did not. That's actually sound trig point. I thought that it would. Oh well, I'll find out later. Hiking barefoot, always a pleasure. Especially scenery like this. Of course, sometimes hiking barefoot is a pleasure. Today, gravel. Lots and lots and lots of gravel. Notice the cliff to the left. This is a common feature of this particular path. It goes all the way up to Stoodley Pike. There's always a cliff on the left. Don't fall. Markers for the Pennine Way come in all shapes and sizes. This is one of the more helpful ones. On we go. More gravel. What's quite amazing about this is that we are pretty much literally exactly halfway between 2 of the largest urban centres in the UK. So over there somewhere is West Yorkshire, Huddersfield, Leeds, and then over there somewhere, Manchester. And yet it's all very quiet and peaceful. It's like there's nothing here. Nothing. One of the main routes through the Pennines. Very popular with cyclists. Very hilly. I mean, can you imagine what this would have been like when I was hiking it 5 years ago? In the rain, and the mist, and the fog. It's very bleak, isn't it? It's very nowhere-ish. It's very... I mean, this is Marston Moor, just over there is Saddleworth Moor. These moors are, well, they're a bit like this. Nobody here. A great place to hide a body. What? Too soon? Look, I'm not the first person to make that joke. Right? Not since 1974 it isn't, but that's just me being a geek. Lancashire, Yorkshire, although now I think they're both in Oldham. Who knows? Another trig point. This is White Hill. And over there is Rochdale. Over there, in the distance, that's it, I guess. Big wind farm. Probably tell. Gets quite windy on these Lear moors. This is an interesting spot on the Pennine Way. It's as you can see, it's a main road that goes through the Pennines between Lancashire and Leeds. Cafe and a car park. Over there's a motorway, which we'll come to later. Magnificent Calderdale. Yeah, no, it's a nice little stop off. I'm not going to stop here, and I've never stopped here, but see, busy traffic. More busy cars. But yeah, no, it's a nice little... I mean, after the bleakness of those moors, it's what you need, really. So behind me is the bridge over the motorway, the M62. It's a purpose-built bridge for the Pennine Way. And when you're hiking the Pennine Way, I think this is one of those psychological moments, because you've left the Peak District behind at this point and you're about to start venturing into the Pennines. So it's almost like the route's really started. And I've taken my hat off because it's so windy. Another barefoot hiking interlude. But then there's a very conveniently placed flagstones. Again with the wilderness. At least there's more people on this section. This is the longest I've been without having my toenails painted for about 10 years. Oh, and the ground, it's quite spongy to walk on. I'm almost bouncing. And yes, I'm avoiding the gravel. Good grief, I'm still climbing. Christ almighty. Somewhere up there's a tree point. Not got it to it yet. Knackered. There it is. And all I've got to do is make my way through the moonscape of rocks that seems to be between me and it. Be a great place to sit and have a picnic though. Blackstone Edge Trig Point. It's the third of the trig points en route, and it is very much by the edge. I mean, it's quite nice to be Rochdale though. With regards to trig points, several of my friends like to climb on top of them. I ain't climbing on top of that one. Far too distracting to scale the heights. Anyway, it's 1 o'clock. Time for lunch. Say lunch. I have a packet of M&Ms, peanut M&Ms, because they don't melt. And I have water in my water to go bottle. That's it. Didn't pack anything heavy because this is only a day trip and Hepton Bridge is not that far away. Don't be like me. Take more resources. I'm really quite hungry. I could murder a Greggs. The other side, Blackstone Edge Trig Point. More of the same. We have rocks, we have views and wind farms, and more rocks. A medieval guide stone for travellers. Interesting. To be fair though, it's by this junction which confuses me, because I was 100% convinced that the Pennine Way goes past the White House. I shall have to consult my map. It does. That way, way to the White House, is a shortcut. The Pennine Way does that. Doesn't take a direct route. If there's a hill or a valley, you can go through instead. It's a stupid footpath. No wonder it's so long. I have weird recollections of this bit of the path, but it looks very different in the sunlight. Also, we wouldn't have seen that view particularly well, because, you know, it was raining. I have a feeling I said this might be a good place to wild camp, because it's out of the way. There is the White House pub, which is quite a convenient little stop off on a Pennine Way trip. I am not going to be going in there today because it's a Sunday and therefore incredibly crowded. Despite the fact I could really do with a wee. This part of the route is full of reservoirs. And the water, you can't really tell from the camera, but the water, I can tell you, very, very blue. And they go back quite a way. This is where your drinking water comes from if you're around these parts. I'm not going to pee in it. You know, this isn't the prettiest view in the world. It's quite a average scenery. Rolling hills, fairly common. Rock escarpments, fairly common. Moorland, fairly common. But you know, it's an hour from where I live in the centre of Salford, and it costs 13 quid return by train, roughly. There's a whole lot of the world that's prettier I'll probably never see. But this is an easy Sunday afternoon jaunt, and that's why I like it. Quite like that bridge. Doesn't really go over anything, but better than getting your feet wet. I don't need to cross it. Path goes that way. To be fair, if it weren't for the reservoirs, this would actually be quite a very, very boring stretch of the Pennine Way. It's just this. Maybe 4 miles. Could be worse. So many footpaths. Would you expect scenery like this? Anyway, I have to go this way, along the reservoir, and then round it, I think. Do you see that in the distance? Maybe a mile and a half away from it. That's Stoodley Pike. And when I did this hike 5 years ago, I couldn't see that from here. When I did this hike 5 years ago, I couldn't see that from about 10 metres away from it, because it was very, very misty and foggy and damp. It's quite a good view from here, isn't it? I can't read what it says, but it's something like, "This common doth belong to someone, and the someone's name is a bit faded and worn out." This is near Stoodley Pike, which is one of those places that, because it's so big, it never seems to get any nearer, even though you've been walking for like 20 minutes. It still seems as far away forever. Mind you, at least I can see it. This seat was built in memory of our dad, Cyril Webster, who died December 1992, still walking the hills. That's what the plaque says. That's the seat. So if we sit on it, we can look out Stoodley Pike, the village of Mankin Holes just hidden down there, and out towards, I don't know actually, Rochdale and Burnley. It's not a bad view really, is it? Still looks as far away as ever. I did a blog post about Cragvale once. It's all about the coiners and the forgers and the Chumbawamba song. Very gruesome, but very interesting. Go and check it out. It's within touching distance now. Again, when I came up here last time, still couldn't see it from here. Stoodley Pike. Honestly, that's about the distance I was when I could see it last time. Strangely enough, the next day was really bright, like this, and I could see it for miles. The thing about Stoodley Pike, you can actually go in it. So let's go in it. Ooh, dark spiral staircases. Don't you just love them? You can't see me. I can't see anything. Ooh, that's better. just that little stretch.
You can, yeah. I can't believe you've never been before.
It's a 360-degree view from up here. This is out looking west towards Rochdale and Burnley, I guess.
Out of the valley.
And this is looking towards, I guess, Hebden Bridge. Can't see Hebden Bridge because it's hidden. But it's out there. Much better views than last time. Much better views. What I actually mean is I can see the ground. Was it worth it? That's what I asked myself. I'd say it probably was. Really need a drink. And a wee. But that's something I can worry about in Hebden Bridge. I like this place. I'm coming down the stairs, stuck my finger in some bird shit. Nice. Right, this is where I leave the Pennine Way, which goes somewhere between Hebden Stall and Hebden Bridge, and then up a hill towards, well, Wuthering Heights actually. I'm going to head into Hebden Bridge and grab some food and some drink, a much needed rest. And oh look, on the hill, there's Stoodley Pike. Long way up, innit? It's been a good journey, I think. I'll see you in the pub. There is, of course, one problem. Hebden Bridge, according to the map, is there. Like, literally there. Yeah, I can't see it either. I think it's in the valley, which explains why it floods all the time. But it's very disconcerting to be, you know, this close to a small, decently sized town and not be able to see anything. Like, literally, the railway station's supposed to be like 200 metres down here, according to the map. And it clearly isn't. Or is it? We'll find out. Ah, there it is. Definitely in a valley. Still feels miles away though. Ah, that's better.